Why doesn't America use WhatsApp? Okay, so first off, I'm American myself. I only have WhatsApp to stay in touch with members of my family who live in Europe since it's the default messaging app there and they use it instead of iMessage. WhatsApp has so many features iMessage doesn't. You can star messages and see all starred messages in their own folder. Choose whether texts disappear or not and set the length of time they're saved. Set wallpapers for each chat. Lock a chat so it can only be opened with Face ID. Export the chat as a zip archive. And more. As far as I'm aware, iMessage doesn't have any of this. So it makes sense why most of the world prefers WhatsApp. And yet it's practically unheard of in America. I'm young. So maybe it's just my generation, Gen Z. But none of my friends know about it, let alone use it. And iMessage is clearly more popular here regardless of age or generation. It's kind of like how we don't use the metric system while the rest of the world does. Is there a reason why the US isn't switching to WhatsApp? Probably it's an issue of timing. WhatsApp became popular in Brazil because the phone carriers didn't offer unlimited SMS at the time. Now they do. But it's too late. WhatsApp is the default communication app for virtually everyone. A big reason many people I know switched to WhatsApp is they were traveling abroad in the days of stratospheric roaming charges but free Wi-Fi in many places. I wasn't replying to an SMS until I got home. But I could reply to a WhatsApp message whenever I got some free Wi-Fi. And then it's just stuck. Since there's a lot more international mobility in Europe than the US. This could plausibly be one fairly significant reason it gained popularity. In many countries, the driver to use third-party messaging apps like WhatsApp the data cost for the app was much less than the cost for using SMS. Because unlimited SMS was rare or expensive in many countries and still is in some. In contrast, most US mobile plans have had unlimited SMS for a very long time. So we didn't have the same financial driver to go to WhatsApp. And yes, third-party messaging apps do have advantages over SMS, but SMS also has advantages. Especially that you don't have to know what specific third-party messaging app the other person uses. Because all phones support SMS. I didn't know Americans didn't use it. Are mildly interesting. My mobile phone plan has unlimited texting. I don't need another app to solve a problem I don't have. In India you'll be hard-pressed to find a single person who doesn't use WhatsApp. It's like the entire country is on WhatsApp. Funnily enough, South Africans use WhatsApp as the sole means of communication. We also use WhatsApp to reach out to business helplines. I think it's because iPhone is the most popular in the USA and people just use iMessage. I mainly use Telegram, but in Italy, in Europe in general really, WhatsApp is a necessity. 'Cause it's Facebook and Fuic using anything that Facebook owns. I don't want to support Facebook. Why would I go through a third-party app for a service my phone can already provide on its own? Besides, WhatsApp is a Facebook product. That right there is a non-starter for me. It's owned by Facebook is a pretty big factor for me to not touch it with a 10-foot pole. I don't really care for any of those features you listed. I've never been like, damn. If only I could download this conversation as a zip archive. Wallpapers? Who the F cares? It's way more important to me that the interface is clean and easy to use. The bells and whistles are secondary. Locking messages to Face ID? My phone already locks when I put it to sleep. Disappearing texts? I've used Snapchat before and I hate it. No thanks. I don't want to give more data to Meta. You left out iMessage as Apple only unless you want a green bubble and to be thrown out of groups. Because any chat with green bubble members is limited to 20 members. I only have WhatsApp to stay in touch with members of my family who live in Europe. Exactly why Americans don't use it. We ain't messaging Europe. No one uses WhatsApp in Norway. At least, well, some obviously do, but not the majority. Snapchat and Messenger is the most popular here. I am not a fan of Meta and don't feel the need to give them any use. Facebook is evil, and why use a third-party app when my phone can do basically the same thing right out of the box? You do realize none of the features you list are critically essential? I use both, and not once have I used any of these features you mention. If you are using the Apple ecosystem, iMessage just works across all your devices without needing to download a new app and verifying every time. My phone has texting built in. Why would I download an extra app to text people when I can already do that? SMS works fine enough for me. Other times Discord covers it. Owned by Meta. I don't use anything owned by Meta. Because fuck Zuck. Because we hate Zuckerberg. You can star messages and see all starred messages in their own folder. Choose whether texts disappear or not and set the length of time they're saved. Set wallpapers for each chat. Lock a chat so it can only be opened with Face ID. Export the chat as a zip archive. And more. I have no desire to use any of those features. I only utilize texting as a way to transfer small bits of information that's almost immediately relevant. I'm running late. Here's so-and-so's phone number. Here's the date of that specific event. Back in 2021, when WhatsApp updated its TOS basically saying that your information can be shared internally with Meta, my friends and I all left for Signal and haven't looked back. Because it doesn't cost us extra money to send texts and images through our carriers. So we never had an incentive to go get some dorky app to work around annoying fees. And we don't care about chat wallpapers, haha. I have to use 5 different messaging services to keep in touch with all my peeps, and 4 of those have 2 or fewer contacts on them, including WhatsApp. I'd get rid of them if I could, but for WhatsApp, Signal, Line and Telegram, it's the only thing they use. I'm an American and I like WhatsApp a lot. I have a group chat for my team members at work. We're global. The voice messaging is way better than iMessage. So my bestie and I use WhatsApp for that. I think the only thing stopping me from using it exclusively for texting is that I have friends and family members that don't have smartphones. So I still need to SMS them. I live in America and I've always thought balloon that WhatsApp was for people trying to scam you, so I never bothered with it. I don't use WhatsApp because it's fundamentally compromised and not a secure platform. But I'm a hard ass when it comes to secure communications. Because I have iMessage. My work makes me use Signal. I live overseas and use WhatsApp to talk to people who live here. It's ridiculous to have 1,000 different messaging apps. When I'm in the US, I stick to one. iMessage. I have unlimited messaging and data because it's not 2003. Simple. It's owned by Facebook. I don't use anything connected with Meta. There isn't any particular advantage to it unless you're communicating with someone overseas. If all communication is domestic, then it's just another texting client. Speaking for myself, I don't use WhatsApp because it's owned by Facebook and I want nothing to do with those monsters. Most phone plans in the US have unlimited text messages. In Europe they don't or didn't. So they use the WhatsApp to not need to worry about paying for text message. The data fee is cheaper than the adding more text messages fee. This was not the only reason, but it's one of the possible reasons.